Hell yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Here we are.
It is us.
It's us.
It's us.
The gang
boys.
of the Long Strange Cantrip, a
Some
Dungeons
of
and
it.
Dragons and other things stream. Today we are a truncated crew, and we're going to be focusing on what the party does with a little bit of downtime. It's a downtime play. What do they do when they're not having incredible adventures? Or are they not? Because maybe they still are. And isn't everything an incredible adventure? Before we start and do a quick intro, I would feel dumb not saying that war and fighting is bad in all contexts. Nobody should ever have to kill another person or fear that they themselves will be killed or hurt. And whatever you kind of think about the conflict, there are some wrong things to think, and you shouldn't think any of those things. But maybe there are a few different right things to think. But whatever it is, it's important to spare some thought for the people who are finding their lives upturned by this. So, and I'm of course talking about WrestleMania 37. No, I'm talking about the current invasion of Ukraine by Russia. I'm Eugene. I am the dungeon master of this crew, and also a person born in Ukraine. And we've also got Nick, who plays Dipnip. Say hello, Nick.
Hi. I play Dipnip. He's an ancient deva and a grump, a big old grump.
Yeah. We've got Casey, who plays Brachus of Natarax.
Hey, it's me, Brachus of Natarax, the Minotaur with the Mostatar. And I'm big, I'm burly, and I love to get squirrely. Let's have a great time and adventure all the way into the night. All right, I'm going to throw it on back to Eugene.
Damn, you just put me to shame. Don't big time me like that again, please. I will not be big timed in this venue. We also have Alec, who plays Ekthos.
Yes, sir. The Tiefling Tinkerer.
With the most, or
With
no?
the Tiefling with the me fling? No.
Yeah.
The Tiefling with the me fling, and then I catapult myself.
There's a skill that Dipnip has called Fling.
Yeah. So he can fling me, and then I can be the Tiefling with the me fling.
If you're ever in a social situation you want to get out of,
That's never happened.
just
Yes.
wink at me and you'll be flung 40 feet.
I think it should be a little
ultimate wingman.
stronger than that. It's something that couldn't be thought I was doing on accident.
For folks watching, you'll see a link to our Discord below, where you can join and post fun GIFs and chat along and give us NPC suggestions, so that we can populate our world with dynamic and engaging characters. And also, you can catch previous episodes on YouTube, where there are also summary of said episodes. the last time we gathered, it was actually to level up a few of these characters, because after the last adventure, they went from level 3 to level 4. And now they're more powerful and more ready to take on the challenges of this brave new world. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So great.
It's been a little while, 3 weeks specifically, since you and your compatriots in the Risuri Navy returned from Axis Island, where, of course, you ousted the occupying rebel Risuri force of Duchess Ethelyn, and where, as well, you ran into a powerful being who tried to kill Duchess Ethelyn there before she was revived by Dipnip, a being named Azrabel Varay, who seemed to be an emissary of the Unseen Court and had a mission of, I suppose, showing the Unseen Court's disapproval of Duchess Ethelyn's actions. The Risuri Navy ended up overwhelming the rebel forces, taking back the island with your help after you heroically opened the seawall, which let the Navy in. After you found Duchess Ethelyn and another person who you'd been asked to rescue by the ambassador of Danor, Leah Jair, her cousin, Nathan, who had been doing research on the island and determined that Danor was developing some sort of super weapon that fuses the magical properties that might be inherent to the island, or the magic of the worlds even, with Danor's technological prowess. Nathan was actually alarmed by this and contacted the Duchess, who he would know would object to Danor developing such a weapon. The two of them conspired to have the island taken over. And for that reason, even though Leah asked for him to be rescued, Nathan objected very strongly to being given back to Danor, because he would be found out as a traitor and probably executed, which he felt would not only be inconvenient for him in his mortal life, but would also be inconvenient for furthering the research that he had been doing to try to figure out what Danor was up to on Axis Island. It's been about 3 weeks since you've come back. The sun is bearing down on Flint, and the days are growing longer. The spring season is yielding to summer, and just like every year, Flint's denizens are desperately grasping onto the fleeting cool evenings as summer starts to take hold. Night markets abound, spilling out into all the alleys and arcades. The smell of roasting meat and overripe fruit draws passers-by. But of course, you'll know this if you lived in New York especially, the heat also cultivates some less inviting smells. Refuse and night soil is festering in the streets. The fishmongers' halls are gathering flies. It used to be that these hotter days would usher in a sort of annual indolence that folks can indulge in, but that hasn't been the case for years, not since the workshops and factories have sprouted up, demanding labor all year round. Parody Lake, which was once an almost idyllic place to enjoy a stroll or a languid afternoon, is now a district where pedestrians can only be seen rushing to and from one building or the next. If they stop to glimpse into the shop floors through the barely cracked doors, which vent just a little bit of the heat from inside, they would see sweltering workers waiting for the end of their shift. For you, Dipnip, the coming of summer has meant that your coworkers at the Royal Homeland Constabulary Flint Bureau are slightly more easily irritated and slightly more anxious to leave the office at the end of the day, which is very much the sense that you get from Inspector Jalen, a reedy, sandy blonde-haired, half-elven new recruit, as he asks you, Reculok, are you sure we need to go over this again? The sun is nearly down. How important can these numbers be?
Numbers give rise to reality itself. We can't define ourselves and our existence if it cannot be quantified.
Dipnip, it's almost nighttime. Can we go, please?
All right, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Just go. Just go.
It's like Susie Essman over here. He says, thank you. I'm sorry. I promised my friend. Is it okay? Can we just start again tomorrow, please? Or whatever you want me to do.
Be here half an hour early. We'll start tomorrow.
Great. And what time is that again? Okay, so you know what? I'll be here a half hour early tomorrow, and we'll get it done. Look, it's just numbers. I mean, it's just. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So with that, Inspector Jalen gives you a very short, courteous bow and leaves the office, which you now have to yourself. What do you want to do?
I think Dipnip would he would be putting pencils and office equipment, such as it is in this world. Everything would be like going back to its place. Like there wouldn't necessarily be like an outline on the table where pencils go, but there would be like scuff marks on the desk where the pencils would line up. Once everything has been put away to his liking, he would close up the office. He's the only one who's got keys, I assume.
He's the only one to his office?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you work in an office with the investigation unit, which is Brackus, Dipnip. This fella Jalen is not normally in there, and then there are a few desks as well, which have lately been occupied by Ren and Ekthos. Both of them are gone, and at times Egberticus and Ume have also been detailed to the office, and there are little carols for them too. But Brackus lets you hold on to the keys, since normally you wake him up to get him to work on time by throwing things at his window until he's awake.
Are our offices next to each other?
You and Brackus are within the same office.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would walk past whatever consists of his office on my way out.
His desk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Within your office.
I would like on a shelf somewhere nearby, I would have some kind of not like incense or perfume, but like some sort of like whatever this world's version of Febreze is.
Yeah.
And like Febreze his general area.
Yeah, so you have a little bottle of a lavender smelling, kind of like an essential oil mixed with water. And it's aerosolized, those perfume bottles with the little ball on the end of it, old school, it's like what someone would spray on Pepe Le Pew. So you've got, you sort of give it a few squishes, and you do, because of the way you are, you do notice that looking at the water level, it seems like someone has given it maybe a couple extra squishes between yesterday and today. So someone's been nipping and dipping into your perfume.
That's not all right. Essential oils add up,
Yeah,
they're what we owe for our good health.
They're essential.
Yeah. Yeah, I would make a note of that in my journal or little notebook. Ask about missing centimeter of essential oil.
It's maybe a millimeter.
I mean, I can't believe I've let it get so out of hand.
Yeah. It's at least twice someone has sprayed this, which means roughly 1/400th of the bottle is unaccounted for.
I mean, you've presented me with this situation, and I'm incredibly bothered by it. I'm going to walk around the office to see if I can smell where this has been sprayed.
Oh, good idea. Okay.
Give Dipnip a TV show, I
say. He's Monk, basically.
The most boring man of all time.
Roll a perception check. Okay. So, as best as you can tell, that's a 21, a very high result. As best as you can tell, the only place that this has been sprayed is your office. So the culprit is among you.
Someone is... I'm sorry, you mean among the...
So it's in your... By office, I mean the room where you, Brackus, sometimes whoever you pull in to help with your projects like Jalen, Ren, Ekthos, Ekberticus, and Ume have been working.
Or they didn't spray it. It was disposed of in another way. They might have drunk from it.
True.
For example.
Yes.
I think I have my answer.
Okay.
Or at least I think, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm satisfied. I cross out the line I've written in my journal about inquiring about this. But I do leave a note that I'm going to follow up on it if I notice it again.
That's important.
Is this why people watch this?
It was a dragon. Where do you go next?
I would. I think I would go to. I would kind of walk around, not aimlessly, but with the idea to either throw people off of my tail or notice if anyone was following me, and then head to the closest like Navy yard or office. I'm trying to find Nathan, who we put on a boat, and then said, "Fuck off."
So when you brought Nathan to town, At your first best idea was that he might seek refuge at a church, which in close to the Navy Yard, and a church of the Pentonian Church specifically, close to the Navy Yard. There's it's actually a sort of office, like an administrative office for the church's activities within the city as a whole in the central district. And there they have the like some of the deacons' quarters, but also the priests' housing for priests who are visiting the city. And that's where Nathan has been staying. So first, let's see if you get folks off your trail. So roll. I think that would be probably stealth.
And I don't know whether I would know that. I mean, I'm sort of suspicious of many people because of our involvement in the geopolitical unrest, and like, you know, who knows? It sort of feels like, you know, however many days of the Condor there were, you know, there's something going on, and I'm not quite sure. I don't have my head wrapped around it all, but I'm nervous for the time being.
And so you try to stalk through the streets of the central district, where your office is as well. You know, with somewhat furtively. Every time you turn into an alley, you sort of check behind you to see if anyone's following. To be honest, even as you're doing it, you can tell, like, I'm being very obvious, but you have a sense that you're not at this moment being followed. So you come to the church, and you haven't visited Nathan here before. Egberticus has. You actually, I don't think you've been to this. I don't assume Dipnip would have had any reason to go to this church office before, unless they were being investigated, which they haven't been. So I assume you haven't been here?
No.
So it's at this point getting close to evening time. As you come to the door, you give it a knock, and the priest the priest in charge of this office, Father Thomas, who you know from Egberticus is in on it, in the sense that he knows that there is someone who should be protected staying with him. He doesn't know who this Nathan is. I'll leave you to it. Father Tom says, "How can I help you?"
Father, good tidings. I'm here to see the
Good tidings.
The one you've been watching over.
And he kind of shows some horns. That one?
Was Nathan a tiefling?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I nod, but do the like. Yeah, I nod. I'm not going to make it more complicated than it needs to be. I nod. It's a social interaction. It happens every day.
He says, and can I ask for your name?
Sure. My name's Flem.
Now, when Brother Egberticus brought our friend here, he said that there might be other visitors. He did not mention Flimflam, but he did mention someone matching your description. He said someone who looks very, very old, and he said sort of like, well, you know when you get the newspaper wrapped fried chips out in the market? And he said it's like you get that and you eat most of the chips and then throw it on the street. Which I didn't really understand as a description of a person, but, well, here you are.
I'm not sure I follow the logic completely, but I have to acknowledge the accuracy in its poeticism. I am that person, yes. And I'm sure that you can see why I wouldn't necessarily want to divulge my name. Might be safer for both of us.
Of course. Right, come with me. He brings you inside the office. It's very opulent. The wallpaper is fresh and gilded. There are sort of jeweled sconces on the walls that give it light as the light is fading outside. There are leather-bound books and scrolls, and the scrolls aren't leather-bound, but they have these gold handles. And you know what? There's a little string that kind of ties the scroll together. Let's say that's leather too. This place is decked out in leather.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And you get to kind of peek into some of the rooms of the priests that are open, unoccupied, and you can see that they're very nicely appointed, very nicely. And
a lot of leather in those. Lots of leather all over the place in those priest rooms.
Tons of leather.
Great.
Tons of gold and jewels.
Yeah.
And just some of the richest woods that you've seen. And finally, you come to a room at the end of the hall. Father Tom opens the door. The first thing you see is that it is not as nice as the priest's rooms, but it's perfectly suitable. And inside is Nathan. He's leaning back, laying in bed, and reading something. You can tell by his reaction that he's quite comfortable in the sense, he doesn't jump up to attention or, put away his book. In fact, he doesn't even look up and holds up a finger, turns a page, keeps holding his finger up, and finally looks up from the book. And then you get the look of recognition that he registers.
I hold up a finger.
He says, my friend, I'm sorry. Chip Dip?
It's close enough. Don't have a lot of use for names.
It's from
Dipnip. It's
Dipnip.
It's an ancient name. The civilization where I was named really no longer. Not many have even heard of it.
Wow. Well,
before
that is
your time.
Impressive. Certainly before my time and before my people looked like this, I guess. It's very nice to see you again. I hardly ever get visitors. Egberticus drops by every once in a while, or Ume comes to bring some pastry. But other than that, I've been, reading and trying to get a handle on exactly what we were encountering there on the island. So tell me, what brings you here?
Well, that sounds like a nice vacation. I was wondering, have you
He says,
remembered
wait,
any?
should we, do you think we ought to do this in private?
I start speaking to him telepathically,
Okay.
and say, "Is this private enough?"
You hear back in your voice, "Can you hear me?" Or sorry,
Yeah.
you hear back in your head.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Is this some
Have you
sort
remember-
of telepathic communication?
You catch on so quickly. No wonder you were a scientist at the top of your field.
And then you hear in your head, again in Nathan's voice, "What about this? Can you hear this?"
I don't say anything out loud, but I do the face and say what? Sorry, excuse me, in my head.
And now he makes a face kind of like this, and you don't hear anything in his voice in your head. Okay, I was just
wait
trying
for him to.
I was testing the limits. You hear this telepathically again. I was testing the limits of this power. It sounds like I can only respond to you, and I can't send you an image or something like that.
We could try doing that.
Okay, hold on. See if you can see this. And again, you see his face go weird. You do see some images in your head, but you can't quite tell if it's what you thought of or if it's what he wants you to think of. Okay, and then he says, "Did you see ice cream?"
Did I see, was one of the things I saw ice cream?
No.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I don't think I can send an image. The priest is just standing there. He says, "I see you have some catching up to do. I will finish up my work for the evening. Do let me know if you need anything. We have tea and other small refreshments."
So, as far as the priest just saw, it was the guy, he said, "Do you think we should go somewhere private?" And then they were just looking at each other
And
for
making
like 2
occasionally-
minutes.
Yeah, occasionally making sort of
Faces.
screwed up faces.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Well, I'll leave you." Sorry. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ask him
Is this out loud or telepathically?
telepathically.
Okay.
Well, before, if the priest is still there, I would say yes, thank you, Father. I don't need tea or
No, the priest is gone.
anything. Okay. All right. So
Okay,
to
this is a little bit
Nathan-
confusing though. So roll a wisdom check, just a straight up wisdom check, to make sure you don't accidentally say that telepathically to the priest. Because you're sort of in telepathic mode.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, you say out loud to the priest, "Thank you, Father. We don't need any tea." And he goes.
I say telepathically to Nathan, "You haven't remembered anything else of value? what specifically about your message to Etheline brought her so quickly, the nature of your research on the island, anything, even something you might not think you remember.
I've had some insights. I think the properties of the island are related in some way to the movement of the planets. It's, as you know, as you likely know, a little examined discipline. And only recently did we even discover that they behave according to the laws of nature and physics rather than the whims of the gods. I think, too, that there is something ancient in the island, something tied to these celestial bodies. And I wonder if there's any credence to the Skyseer myths, the myths of this land, which talk about the ancient men who once could travel freely to these bodies and to the worlds that are on them, and to wield the magic that they inhabit freely.
What specifically gave you this impression, this breakthrough in your thinking?
Well, as we were doing our excavations on the island, we found these obelisks, and not just that, but carvings into stones on the ground as well. And they had on them impressions or etchings of animals or other creatures. And at first I thought that, of course, these were ancient, but just creatures from the myths or everyday lives of those ancient people. Just drew what they saw, just as you or I might record our notes or pen a tale. But in looking back through my sketches of those etchings, I noticed that there is some consistency, and almost all of the carvings seem to relate to the stories passed down about the planets. So, for example, Nem, since ancient times, has been referred to as a shadowy deer. That's the way that we think about it when it is personified or animalified. Avalona is a hawk in flight, and the fact that these planets, I think it's just not a mere coincidence, I suppose, and there's no reason for the ancients to have thought of these planets in the same way that we do, unless there's some consistency to what the planets represent. As well, I think if that is the case, then I guess it led me to examine some of the myths that Risuri culture has about the activities of these ancients, and that's what led me here.
Interesting. Well,
of course, I can't say that too loudly to my hosts here because the church has different beliefs entirely about what the planets are and what they mean to us.
Best keep that between us and Igberticus.
He seems like quite the zealot himself, to tell you the truth.
You haven't spoken of these new conclusions you've drawn.
Not with Igberticus, no.
Then maybe keep it between us and anyone else I bring. This is helpful, although you do know that this is you're still in danger, and I do feel as if setting you up with a new identity might be trickier than I had initially anticipated. How are you all right for the time being, taking refuge here?
If I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind a facility that is a little more well equipped for the kind of work that I'm doing. For example, a telescope would help.
Yes, I can see how that would be helpful.
He sort of looks out the window, which his room has, and gestures with his head over to a cluster of buildings that aren't too far away, which you know to be Pardrite University, the finest establishment of higher education in Reeser.
Hardrite?
Pardrite, P-A-R-D.
Very
W-R-I-G-H-T. Pardrite.
Pardrite. Right. University. I'll make inquiries about potentially getting you some sort of access or position there, but you would have to leave your old life behind. I hope you realize that.
Being affiliated with the most popular, so the most powerful family in Danor has had its perks. I won't lie. But at this point, I want to get as far away from the work that Danor seems to have been doing as I can, because as I've said, I believe it to be potentially catastrophic. So a new life where I get to delve further into these mysteries is maybe exactly what I need.
Good. Well, as long as you're fine for now, I'll see about getting that going, and get someone to send a message if you need something.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it, really. It's not lost on me that I would be dead if it wasn't for you and your friends. For you and Yogurt.
Well, you will be dead eventually, so don't thank me. Don't thank me just yet.
Too true.
Goodbye, and I leave.
Bye. Bring me a telescope, please.
I don't. I keep walking.
Okay. the priest is at the at a desk in the entrance foyer, buried in some sort of ledger. He looks up and he says, "Until next time, then."
And maybe next time, you'll make a note that Flim
thanks so
Flam
much for
should
the
be
follow.
okay. All right, goodbye.
No, that's not the priest who says that. That's me saying that too. F.S. Hayek, which perhaps is a reference to Friedrich Hayek, a famous Risuri philosopher who's anti-mercantilist, anti-socialist teachings have definitely taken hold in some libertarian corners of Risuri society. Anyway, yes, thank you, Dipnip.
Love the Dipnip show.
Okay. So, Dipnip, you go on with the rest of your day, which I assume... What's Dipnip's nighttime routine?
He probably... I don't see Dipnip as being very good of a cook, so he probably gets, like, the same dumplings from a street corner or something, like, every day.
Okay.
Or at least the days where he has that one specific routine. And, instead of everyone being like, "Oh, hey, Norm, come on into Cheers," it's like, no, this fucking guy again. I fucking hate this guy. He has a specific coffee drink and he orders it every time.
So
and if it's not perfect, he's a piece of shit.
Around the corner from your very humble apartment, the kind of the salary that the RHC pays allows you to have a comfortable abode. You've also, over your lifetimes, you've accumulated enough wealth to afford more than that, I think, but you just choose not to. But around the corner is Harrod's, a stall where they make these dumplings that are sort of like a steamed rice flour dumpling with some mystery meat inside. It's basically like whatever animals or fish were fresh that day. Some chives, very simple. So you go up, and there's 3 or 4 dudes sitting out. There's like a counter at Harrod's where you can sit and eat. There's 3 or 4 dudes sitting there. The types that are in this neighborhood are, day laborers that have just finished up their day, and they're talking and laughing, and then they see you showing up, and then they just get quiet.
Is it a cop thing, or is it an old guy thing?
It's a Dipnip thing.
Oh, they know me specifically.
Yeah, because they go there every day too.
Oh, okay. I walk right by their table and like stare blankly, and then keep going to. Is it a stall? Is it?
It's a stall. It's an outdoor stall with a sort of counter. So Herod says, "Dipnip, what? Same thing, I assume." Okay.
Yeah. Was the nod not? I nod.
No, okay, that's fine. Do you want the Dipnip 1 or Dipnip 2 today?
Let's go with 1.
Okay. So
today was a 1 kind of day.
He takes out this steamer basket with buns, hands it over to you. It has 2 buns. A Dipnip 1 is 2 buns. A Dipnip 2 is 3 buns.
2 is
Whoa.
But he also gives you. They make this coffee where it's like, very. It's like one of the. It's like Turkish coffee if you've had that. It has the sediment in it, very very strong. It puts a little condensed milk in there, and hands it over. Pours it into. Geez, what do people pour stuff into? A cup? But why would he give you a cup to take home? Ooh, gotta improvise here. Do you bring your own cup?
Maybe. Oof. Would it be like?
How do people do takeaway?
That's a good question.
Just wrap it in newspaper.
Yeah, put the coffee in newspaper.
Just wrap the coffee in newspaper.
A hollowed out gourd or something. That
leather skin. Lamb skin.
More leather.
No, this is a good idea. This is a good idea. 'Cause I thought canteen, but that would be like too precious, right?
Right.
To just give someone, but no, the gourd is a good idea. So the vegetable stand, once they make their pies or whatever, they give them some gourds. You pour it in a gourd. All right, here's your gourd. It's a green
Coffee gourd.
Yeah, it's like a green thing with the top cut off, scooped out. But if it's not very carefully done, so there's sometimes like a seed floating around in there. And he gives you to take it up to his apartment, and he says, "Oh, you owe me for last month still. You have an arrangement where you pay monthly."
Oh God! For some reason, that specific detail really struck me. How fucking shitty Dipnip is. I pay him. I don't. I'm not in the mood, and I'm not gonna haggle. I pay him.
Okay. All right. I think we'll just grab one Kelland from your inventory for that.
Okay.
1 gold, and you head upstairs. Now, Brachus, dear Brachus. You've been, of course, for the last month, trying to channel some of your feelings into a nice, productive outlet that will help you grow as a Minotaur and grow as a warrior. And you found this society that is hosted in it's called the Warrior's Rest, which is a nice kind of quiet, at least upstairs, out of the way bar in the Central District. It's not an inn in the sense that there's no rooms there. It's just a tavern.
But the tavern is called Warrior's Rest.
The Warrior's Rest.
Got it.
And once you got to know some people there, my sense is that Brachus is not necessarily a go to the bar every night kind of guy just by default, unless you have something to do there.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, I agree.
So
That's Brachus.
Yeah. So you went with on a recommendation that you heard from some veterans that you were trying to find a place where you can fight other people. And downstairs at Warrior's Rest, Warrior's Rest is kind of like a cop bar equivalent. So it's a real sort of boys club. And downstairs is a fighting pit. We can have a look at here.
Oh.
And
yes, let's.
So it is. It's a place where essentially, like, cops
Ooh.
can bet on fights between criminals that they've arrested, people who are on parole, or even people who are in jail and let out on some kind of reprieve. It's not the most savory place, but it's safe in the sense that it's all cops, so there's honor among cops, you could say. So you've been going here, and at first the officers ask, do you want to take part in the betting? But much to their surprise, they learned that, in fact, you want to take part in the fighting, which they thought was absolutely insane. Like, why would you do this? The rules, by the way, are no magic at all, like no magical enhancement or no casting of spells is allowed. There is a staff wizard with a staff. With the wizard staff. There's a staff wizard who is able to cast some wards that kind of prevent. It's actually, he's got some stones.
He's got a staff infection too.
Yeah, yeah. He's got a big time staff infection. He brought some stones from Denoran lands, and they kind of have an essence of anti-magic about them. And he makes sure that these are fair fights, but they're not fair in the sense that people are, gouging eyes and they have like little shivs and knives and everything, or just a huge axe, whatever you like. And you've been fighting and mostly winning pretty consistently at these events.
I would hope so.
What are your thoughts about it in general?
I mean, it really gets the adrenaline pumping. It's fun. Like, oh, did you just turn on the fight sound?
Well, it's the sounds of the crowd.
Well, the sounds of the crowd, they really also get my adrenaline pumping. And, I on the surface, it's just a lot of fun and a good way to get to get some of this rage out through a healthier outlet than perhaps, than just like stabbing people in the street with my horns.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like several notches healthier than that. So
you do feel like this is better than stabbing people in the street with your horns.
Yes. Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, at least in some ways.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I wish. I wish there were some more challenging guys sometimes. Like sometimes it's a little easy. It's a little child's play, just to put these squirts in their place.
Sure. Well,
but
there is a particular guy who has been he's had a parallel career to yours.
Oh, really?
in these fighting pits. Yeah, in the sense that he started around the same time as you a few weeks ago, and he has he's being compelled to fight by his police handlers. He has no interest in doing it himself, it seems, but he is ferocious in the ring. And tonight you're battling him. His name is Trax.
Trax? Mm-hmm. Trax. Oh yeah, I've seen Trax around the pit.
Cool.
He's a lizard folk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's
Well,
he's.
I've always wanted to punch a lizard.
So there aren't really many of them. Yeah, there aren't many of them in Flint. I mean, they are kind of like pretty exotic creatures. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know, that doesn't matter much to you. Whether or not he's endangered vis-a-vis others in Flint, he's definitely endangered when he's in the ring with Brachus.
Oh yeah, everyone's endangered.
So here's Trax.
Trax.
And since you're just in a ring, I think rather than using a map, we should just kind of do this on this battlefield. But
Buffet style?
yeah, buffet style. So you don't have much. Well, actually, let's roll initiative.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. And Brachus, you're up first.
Okay, all I see is the lizard man, so do I just target him?
Yeah.
But should I be on screen or no? I don't have to worry about that.
Oh,
I see Brachus.
I see Brachus.
I only see the lizard guy. But I'm just gonna target him and attack, so
Yeah.
whatever.
You've got your big axe.
Let's bring that big axe into the fray. And I'm gonna swing it at his knees, just under the shield.
Oh, ooh,
Try to take
Smart.
those knees out.
very smart.
Ooh.
Okay, so you swing it at his knees, but he hops over,
Ah.
and on his way down, he
Whoa.
brings his club down on at your head,
Oh no.
like from up in the air, but you step aside.
Okay, good.
But then, once he gets back on the ground, he draws a javelin, which he has sort of slotted into his shield, and stabs
no.
at you with it.
No.
Oh yeah, big time. But you, Brachus, you sort of use the space between your axe blade and the axe handle to like catch the javelin and knock it aside. Your turn again.
Oh, okay. Well, this time I'm gonna
The
come at
crowd
him
is
with the
hooting. They are
hoot
they're
for
baying
me.
for blood.
Hoot for my greatness. I'm gonna come in with the horns, and I want to try to horn that shield right off of his arm. I want to like jam one horn into it and like go rah,
Ooh,
and
okay.
throw the shield across the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm using my horns, so I just go use ability. I guess it looks different.
Yes.
Okay. Go horns. Ah!
Okay.
So close to 12.
You try to jam one or both of your horns into the shield, and the lizard man actually pushes the shield onto the horns so that they're sort of, he catches you at an awkward moment, like the horns get stuck in there, and then he pulls it right off. But that's just a bonus action, so you have one more action.
Okay, cool. Well then, I'm gonna bring the great axe in again, and I'm gonna do a big ass underhanded swing to again see if I can get under that dastardly shield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you do with an underhanded swing, you lift the shield up, roll damage.
Okay.
And in the same blow, you sort of open a huge gash across the belly of the lizard folk, Trax. And Trax has to. So the shield goes flying. Someone yells, "He's opened him up!" And Trax takes
music
one
to
arm.
my ears.
Trax with one arm sort of is holding together his belly.
Damn.
But this you get to see why he's considered so ferocious. So he grabs the javelin from the ground, and on the way back up, just tries to jam it into your thigh to kind of slow you down a little bit. But in doing so, he sort of twists open, like he twists and loses his grip on his stomach. So he lets it go, and then like a bit of intestine starts to peek out. He's losing blood badly at this point, and tries to bash you with his club as he's finding it very difficult to maintain concentration. It's your turn, because the club attack was not good. Now people are starting to sort of turn away, in the sense that this is a little bit more than they bargained for. Like he is seriously wounded, and it's bloody.
All right. Well, okay. I'm gonna bring the axe in again, and I'm going to go for his thigh. See if I can lop a leg off. You know, and lizard folk can grow it back. Am I right? Ha ha ha.
Do you yell that to the crowd? Like, is that a taunt?
Yeah, I go, let's see if the rumors are true.
Oh. People are really groaning. It's a hit, roll damage.
Oh, shit. Oh!
Okay. So you swing the axe. It goes clear through Trax's leg.
Oh!
And the leg sort of falls to the ground just at the same moment that Trax does. The judge is like, "We got a winner here, Brachus of Natarax. Once again, Brachus of Natarax. Collect your bets."
Another leg for my collection.
He's another leg for Brachus of Natarax's collection. Winners, collect your bets upstairs. Don't forget about our Wednesday night specials. That's not called Wednesdays here. Don't forget about our toil specials. And as ever, we will see you next time on The Warrior's Rest presents Toil Night Raw. Trax is laying on the ground, seriously suffering at this point. Do you want to give him a hand, a leg to stand on?
Oh, yeah, I'll give him a hand.
All right. He says, "You did a number on me."
Nothing a bit of magic can't fix. Am I right, you lizard?
So the healer comes up, and so the crowd doesn't want to see people too healed after the fights, because despite the fact that it is clearly the more humane thing to do, it also sort of takes some of the oomph out of what they just witnessed. So so the cleric has, he's paid only to basically bring the person back to consciousness and allow them to kind of walk off on their own. So
The cleric should slap him around a little bit after.
Yeah, what the hell?
he asks for the leg from you, kind of holding out his hand.
Here you okay,
get
all
the leg?
right. Sure,
All right.
sure. Have
So-
the leg.
He grabs and reattaches the leg. Magically kind of sutures around. Obviously, Trax is not comfortable on it, but at least he's able to walk physically. And Trax says, I'll tell you one thing. You've done me a bit of a favor here. They don't have lips, these lizards, so it's hard for them to speak common.
What favor did I do you?
I don't think they're gonna make me fight anymore.
Ah, nice. All right, well, it worked out for both of us then. I got to chop you up, and you get to, I don't know, lie down. What do you want to do?
And I think I will be lying down for the next few days.
Cool. All right, well, I wish you were more of a challenge, but you know, good times. Good luck with the leg and your guts.
Well, I appreciate the free ticket back to jail. Believe me, it's better than this.
Enjoy jail.
It's much better.
I don't know. I think this is pretty cool down here. I get to chop people up.
Well, Brachus of Natarax, you're one of a kind.
I really am.
You hear a bit of as you're walking out to tend to your superficial wounds from earlier in the evening. You hear a slow clap behind you.
A slow clap, is it? Suppose I better turn around.
Wait, does Brachus say this to himself, like out loud?
Yeah. A slow clap, is it? Suppose I better turn around. And then I turn around.
So, the room where you dress is quite dark, but in the silhouetted by the light from the arena behind him, there you see a figure with horns like yours.
What's up, fellow horn haver?
He takes a few steps forward, and you recognize your uncle, Atreus of Natarax.
Uncle Atreus? What the fuck are you doing here?
He says, Brachus, very nice to see you. I was paying a diplomatic visit to Reeser and heard a rumor of a brash minotaur making the rounds at the Warrior's Rest and felt, well, that sounds like somebody I know.
Haha, you always had my number, Uncle Atreus. So, okay, so you figured the Minotaur you were hearing all the good stuff about was me. Makes sense. But anything else? You just want to say hello, or is there more to this?
I didn't say good stuff, Brachus. I said making the rounds at the Warrior's Rest.
That sounds like good stuff to me.
Well, it would sound like good stuff to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what is bad stuff to you? What I feel like there's like a tone. I feel like there's like a subtext here.
Brachus, it's been 3 years since you left the military. You left your family's trade. What are you doing here? What's going
chopping people up with my big axe. Did you watch what just happened? The guy's guts peeked out. Didn't you see the peeking guts? Or did you miss the show?
Do you think
What are you doing with your life?
I am playing a vital part in running our clan's affairs, in contributing to the overall prosperity of Reeser.
Yeah, like meetings. You're going to meetings. It sounds like you're going to meetings.
There are.
I'm out here popping
yes.
the guts loose. I'm popping guts loose. I'm making legs fly. That's entertainment. When did you last make a crowd go hoot hoot hoot?
Brackus, this is unbecoming of your pedigree.
Well, I'm not the one who knocked me down out of my rank in the military for a dumb reason. That was. You want to talk about something bad? How about the reason I got demoted?
Brackus, look, you've always been a fine specimen. He grabs your shoulders. He says, you could lead the Natarax clan into the future. You are nobility. What are you doing here wallowing in the muck? Rolling around with a damn lizard.
Hey, one man's muck is another man's good use of time. A good way to spend time.
Brackus, when are you coming home? Your father asked me to find you.
What about my father? What did he say? Tell me exactly what he said about me. Dad, what did Dad say?
He says he wants you to come rule the clan as you are meant to do.
He wants me to do his work for him. What? He wants me to work all day doing the clan. I don't want to go to meetings. I want to spill guts.
It's a life of responsibility, yes, but it also comes with privilege and it comes with a legacy. Brackus, you must return to the Natarax clan and
what
take
kind of
the
privileges,
mantle of leadership.
What kind of privileges we talking here?
Well, for one thing, you business trips.
Oh, okay. Full expense paid, business trips, first class carriage.
That's right.
With
of course.
the velvet upholstery.
If it's not too far, they'll put you in a palanquin.
A palanquin?
That's right.
So fancy, I don't even know what it is.
You get some strapping young minotaurs to carry around your carriage instead of go on base wheels. The most common of shapes. Circle.
Yes. Oh no, a circle is rather unbecoming of noble minotaurs such as us. Well, I like the getting carried around. Yeah, I like.
Call a wheel.
I also call a wheel that, and I like the idea of no wheels, and I like the idea of being carried. But can I also spill guts in some contexts?
Now, Brackus, when we left behind those mongrels in the other clans to join this more civilized land, we pledged to also leave behind their ways.
Oh, jeez. I forgot about that, and
You know this. This is Natarax 101.
This is what drives me crazy about Nataraxian culture. I mean, like, I like the being carried around, but this whole like what? No gut spilling at all? What about like a stabbing, occasional stabbing? Can I stab?
We serve the Risuri military, and we've always been an asset to them. But we're not bloodthirsty creatures.
Oh,
we're
so you're saying I got to start a war?
We end wars.
Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll what do you call it? A probation period. Probationary. I'll come back for like a little bit, like a weekend. Like let's do like a weekend, and I'll see how I like it.
1 weekend, just say hi to the family.
Yeah,
We'll
a
give
probationary weekend.
We'll give you some tasks that you can then carry forward into the future, learn to lead, learn to assume the burdens and the privileges of leadership, and you can carry on with this RHC thing. Look, a career serving Reeser, we love it. Perfect stepping stone into coming into your own as an executive leader of Natarax.
Yeah. So I'll get my stabbings in.
Okay, I really wish you wouldn't put it that way.
Well, I'm a straight shooter. Maybe Natarax needs this kind of leadership. Maybe it needs a guy who's willing to say, like, yes, I stab, and I like it.
Have you put any more work into your thesis?
A lot of research. I've highlighted a lot of texts, a lot of scrolls. I've highlighted a lot of scrolls. I could show you a mountain of scrolls, lousy with highlighter.
What are we gonna do with you, Brachus of Natarax?
I don't know, but I'll be stabbing all the way.
All right, can I send a carriage in the morning?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a palanquin.
We can't palanquin you up the mountains to Natarax.
All right, I'm just saying, already stuff's a little, say this, do that, change what you were saying. Just, I'm paying attention. I heard palanquin and now it's carriage. So I'm going to keep paying attention. But yes, a carriage in the morning will be fine in this instance.
You don't need to check with work or something?
I mean, I'll leave a magical sticky scroll for Dipnip.
Who's Dipnip?
Oh, Dipnip's
it's your partner.
one of my coworkers. I'll leave a little sticky scroll.
I met him last time. He's a little strange, that one.
Oh, a little strange. Don't undersell it. He's a bizarro.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
But I'll leave leave a note for him, and it's fine. It's fine. He's great. He's great with this stuff.
And one more thing. Everything with that military matter, the discharge, everything that's worked out.
It's fine. It's all, like there might be a few more, pieces of paperwork to fill out, a few more I's to dot, T's to cross, but for the most part, it's all water under the bridge.
Okay, because we've invested a lot in making sure that your history accurately reflects the heroism and contributions of Natarax.
No, don't you worry. Nary a scandal is in sight. Nothing horrible will ever come out about my past. It'll never shame the Natarax name. There will just nothing will even, not even a little bit, rip the entire Natarax community asunder. Not even a smidge. It'll be great. There'll be no problems because I worked it all out and it's fine.
Quite a way of putting it.
Yes.
Brachus of Natarax, you're one of a kind.
I sure am.
Let's take a little break before we turn to Ekthos. How's that sound, everybody?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Because we've heard the catchphrase, so we can go.
Exactly. So we will be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, we are back. And of course, it's time for movie section, where we talk about the movies from this year that we haven't seen, which in this case is Tiffany Haddish and Oscar Isaac's The Card Counter.
The Card Counter. Paul Schrader's The Card Counter.
Yes.
Tiffany Haddish, how is she in so many things? It's crazy at this point. Anyway.
It's very much so. I also was the other day we watched for the first time for Li Shen Mulholland Drive. She'd never seen it before.
Nice.
Very, very good movie. Very strong.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's
been a while.
It's interesting how like it ages pretty well, even though at this point it's over a decade old, but it's still super strong, great cast, and like great Lynch with it's the kind of cogent story version of David Lynch. Very, very good.
Totally. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward if like you know, once you've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, I think there's but it
I've
does leave
never
open.
actually seen it. Is it one of those movies that only makes sense after you've already seen it and you're watching it again?
I think it makes sense potentially at the end of the first watch, at least the basic idea of what's going on. But I think definitely probably makes more sense on a second watch.
There's a part of it that definitely like does not make sense until you're halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
But it seems like it does.
I found out like Bruce Willis was dead, and I was like, "What? Oh my!" Now it makes sense.
No, it's not.
That was
so
my experience.
You can go back and with Mulholland Drive and sort of appreciate more things about it after you know the thing that you saw about it. But it's not the kind of thing where, like, that's not the point of it, sort of, like it is with Sixth Sense, where it's like, now go back and spot the clues. You know, that's not really part of the film.
Fucking Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I do also want to make clear that was absolutely a joke, and
Fair
being
enough.
serious.
But I do think that's. I do think
I
that's
just didn't want that
of,
to be on the permanent internet record.
Yeah.
My mind was blown by that movie.
It is, I think, part of M. Night's intent.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Fool you to trick you.
Yeah. But then to be like, now go back and see if you can. You just see where I made him. You know, the water like falls right through him and onto the floor. Like.
Yeah, he's like, see how clever I am.
Yeah. I watched the movie The Happening in theaters.
Yeah.
It was an M. Night movie, and my experience with M. Night is I saw Sixth Sense, which I think is a well-made, well-acted
I like that movie.
Then I saw Lady in the Water, which was a bit of a silly movie, but
awful, a mess.
I appreciated at least the intent to which he was doing, like a modern fairy tale kind of thing.
I dig that.
That was interesting.
Just the fact that he cast himself as a writer who is going to save the world with his writing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in fucking balls.
Yeah, huge swinging balls.
His cameos.
The crazy thing about and I saw Signs as well, which I actually thought wasn't. I thought that the conceit of the film was stupid, the water thing. But I thought as a movie, it's actually not bad, and I really like the reveal of the aliens. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I kind of love Signs, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's
I like Signs.
So you went to see The Happening in theaters after having seen The Sixth Sense and then Lady in the Water and not Unbreakable?
No, so I still haven't seen Unbreakable. I also
That's
watched.
his
What
best
about
Oh,
The
Unbreakable's
Village?
great.
It's his best movie.
I also.
I hated The Village.
I should see Unbreakable. I saw
I'm
The
mixed
Village.
Yeah,
on
Unbreakable's
Village.
great.
Yeah.
I watched I saw The Village on TV, and I thought, well, like, I think it's stupid. I think that a movie based entirely on the twist is only interesting or fun in retrospect. I'm offended by that notion.
Yes.
When I went to go see The Happening, it was so cheesy and bad, and like, just like, it did not seem like a Hollywood movie at all. It was almost like
It's
The Room.
weird. Yeah.
It was
Wahlberg, huh?
I thought it was so weird. Wait, Wahlberg was in The Happening?
Was
Oh
it?
yeah, he's the lead.
I guess I don't remember him at all. I remember
The trees.
And Zoe
It's the
Deschanel.
trees.
it was just so bad.
How
was like
sure are you that you saw The Happening?
Okay, there was an evil grandma in it.
Uh,
I didn't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't
did
seen
it did it open
the
with
plants,
mysterious
right?
suicides? Did it open
Yes,
with mysterious?
yes.
Yeah, that's the happening.
That's The
The
Happening.
plants.
Yes.
Yeah,
That,
the plants.
that was just such a bad. Like, it was just such a
I've-
poorly made movie.
I saw a YouTuber claim that if you watch The Happening in black and white with the sound off, like an old like B movie,
Oh,
that it's
God.
like it makes more sense.
Yeah, because it's like you give it more credit if you act like it was made in like the 1920s or some shit.
Yeah.
You're like, this is
40s
very impressive.
Giant bug movie. Yeah.
How do y'all feel about Mother?
I really
loved
enjoyed
it.
Mother in the
thought
theater. I
Mother
haven't
was
watched
very
it
cool.
again yet.
I feel like
Yeah.
Mother was just a really honest movie that Darren Aronofsky made about like what it's like to be in a relationship with Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a living nightmare.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. Nick, you didn't like
Yeah,
it?
me too. No, I
I
did
haven't
like
seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I decided to avoid it because the only things I had heard about it was that it was like an endless parade of a person suffering. And I was like, I don't
It
really.
gets really
It
intense.
gets
watch
worse
the
and worse and
cartoons.
worse.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It gets
But
pretty
I
intense.
thought it was
yeah.
great. I thought it was
Yeah.
good. It's also
But-
like kind of funny in a way.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
definitely.
It's
Yeah.
like with this now, like
Yeah, I can see.
Right.
I think it can be kind of funny. I thought that
Eugene,
was a good movie.
Have you heard of the theory? Speaking of signs earlier, I wanted to say the theory that it's not aliens, it's demons.
Why?
Meaning that like they like a lot of the stuff, you know, lights in the sky and what have you, look like aliens.
like holy water.
But like but
water.
like that. What if they're actually demons being misinterpreted as aliens? And that the little girl was like had blessed all the water with she'd like go around, you know, doing her little girl whimsy stuff on the water.
Well, I suppose my
I feel like it
question
makes
to that
more
is, like,
sense than aliens being water, you know,
Well,
what is the word?
water insoluble, or maybe soluble.
Yeah.
water,
Water
makes
soluble.
them melt.
Yeah, yeah, water makes them melt.
Okay, I mean, I understand.
Like the Wicked
what-
Witch of the West.
I get what you're saying, but I guess like that would be the only thing that is explained by that. You know, there's no other sort of inconsistency in the movie that would.
Well, also, why would an alien be stuck in a kitchen with the door locked? Like
do you
there
mean?
is other weird stuff. Like
It was
not that that's
wandering around.
necessarily. Not that that's necessarily demon behavior, but like that, like if it's like a weird goblin, I believe more that it would be stuck in a kitchen as opposed to like an alien that traveled the stars, being like, "How do I get out of this kitchen?"
I think that's giving M. Night a lot of credit.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
That's that's interesting. I should watch the movie again.
But that's like a theory I just read. But then my pet theory is that if that's true, I wonder if like the fact that no one like interpreted it as that like broke M. Night. And that's like he's like they didn't get my twist, and that's why all of his movies have gotten worse and worse since then.
Interesting. Yeah, I do see. Like, I know that people liked the movie where the Avatar man is multiple personality Split. I know people like Split.
I had fun with Split.
I thought it was fine.
I didn't see that one.
I thought that the Avatar man didn't do that well in it. But
James McAvoy?
yes.
Is he the Avatar man?
Who is he? He's not an Avatar.
No, he's not an Avatar.
He's not the main. He's not the main guy.
No,
in the
No,
movie.
that's a
of,
faceless white man, like
Yeah.
Sam Worthington or
Sam
something.
Worthington.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
Sam
thinking of-
Worthington.
Yeah.
He's nothing.
Okay,
Yeah,
why did I think that James McAvoy was the guy in Avatar?
I don't know.
He's Professor X.
He's from Wanted.
I know that he's
Wanted.
Professor X,
Yeah.
but I thought he was also Avatar.
No.
No, that's an American role.
Okay.
For an American actor. Oh wait, I mean Australian.
Last
right.
bit of movie chat, maybe. I recently saw Okja. I had not watched it.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
It's good.
I like that.
Good
Yeah.
movie.
it's
Totally
good.
good
It's
movie.
definitely worth
Flick.
a watch.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yep.
Yep. It's a Netflix orig.
Ridge.
Well, or I don't know.
Ridge
Is that what they
chips.
call movies that are made for Netflix? Are those originals?
Netflix original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's a movie?
Yeah.
I think so. I think
Or
so.
just the Netflix
A Netflix original film.
feature. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Ridged chips.
Ridged
Ridged
chips.
Hey, D&D.
Oh wait, also
oh,
wait,
what?
did you watch Old? The most recent M. Night?
What is that?
Old is the beach that makes people old
The
quickly.
beach that makes people old.
Which
Like
I have to say, I love the premise.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
the
fun.
beach that
It's a
gives
fun
you
one.
Jack disease.
Yeah, it's
yes.
the beach, yes, that gives you Jack disease,
I,
but worse.
personally, I wish it was even more silly. It was either not silly enough or too silly for me.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to.
Because it's
Definitely.
like straddled the line too much between super silly and not silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
the
can
if
see
the
that, yeah.
premise of the movie is not a bunch of like spring break, like Miami college kids going
No.
to a beach,
No
and as
characters
soon
like
as
that.
they crowd in on the beach, they all become super old. I don't know why I would watch that movie.
There's one very self-absorbed hot woman character who gets very old very
Man,
quickly.
that's not as good as
And
like
she's on her
a
phone
bunch
all
of
the
young
time.
people.
Yeah.
I wish it was a bunch of young people.
M.
Well,
Night
there are also
Shyamalan.
a couple little kids, and they have
The
a
kids.
rough time because they like still have little kid brains, but they grow into like teenagers and then adults, and
Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of fun.
yeah.
There should
Yeah.
be a Cabin in the Woods, a great film in
And-
its own right.
Oh, love Cabin
Yeah.
in the Woods. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There should be a Cabin in the Woods, except instead of horror movie tropes, it's just M. Night premises that they all have to like deal with. Like, hey, I think that's gonna be kind of funny, actually.
M. Night's
Yeah.
cameo in Old is pretty egregious also.
Yes.
He
yes.
plays the guy who brings people to the old beach.
Yeah.
How does he do it?
In a van.
That happens at the beginning. He just
It's-
like M. Night drives them to the beach.
I just realized M. Night movies are sort of like Goosebumps books.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
That is, I feel like actually all of these could be a Goosebumps book.
Yeah.
The
Damn.
beach that made people old.
R. Nightstein.
Beach that makes you get old.
The beach that makes you get old.
Yeah, the beach. I mean, you could totally see a Goosebumps where, oh, finally she runs away from the beast, and then she runs, and then it's a real modern street with a car on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll never forget that when the woman's, her dad was turning into a plant. Woman, sorry, I mean girl. Sorry, I mean MILF. This girl's dad was turning into a plant. Yeah, I think it.
I feel like you told that anecdote before we were on stream before.
Yeah, I did.
So no one's gonna know what you're talking about.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a girl whose dad was turning into a plant, and then she finally figured out a way to like make the plants not take over her dad's personality, but in the end. So it was like her dad was becoming a plant, but also plants were assuming the form of her dad, and they were gonna like kill everybody.
This is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something?
Yes, but the plant, but the
pod
body
people or
snatchers
something?
were plants.
Body Snatchers?
Oh wait, this is a Goosebumps. You're saying
It's a Goosebumps.
okay. Now I kind of remember this.
And then what happens at the end is that she's the story, the narrative is like finally she's restored her dad to being her dad and the plants to being just plants, and then then she bends down and hears like a tiny plant saying like, "Help me! Like I'm your actual dad." For some reason, that one was the most. That one.
Are you really going outside wearing
the chilling
that?
ending?
Yeah.
Turn off the lights in your bedroom before you leave.
That's essentially what it is. There was also a Goosebumps. One of them was called "This Is Monster House" or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Welcome to Monster House.
Yes, welcome to Monster House.
Is it like
Did you guys
a fraternity?
ever see Gooflumps?
Excuse you. Actually, sounds. What is that again? Is that funny
that was the
Goosebumps?
parody book series?
In the Scholastic Reader, they sold you Gooflumps.
Right, which is, even though Goosebumps are basically comedy.
Yeah, already.
They're not. Some of them are quite serious. So Gooflumps, there were only two of them. They were made by. Under the pseudonym R.U. Slime. Instead of,
Which would be his Treehouse of Horror credits name.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even though
R.U.
R.L. Stein is
Slime.
already
Fake name.
a fake name.
Yeah.
And there were only two books, and they were, I guess because it's funnier, they were books 2.5 and 4.5 instead of book 2 and 4.
That's insane!
And
Wow.
so Goosebumps book 2 was Stay
I'm
Out of
looking
the
at him right
Basement.
now.
Gooflumps book 2 is Stay Out of the Bathroom.
No! Because there's poops?
There's poops, yeah.
Stay out of the bathroom.
That's even worse than I hoped.
And Gooflumps book 4.5 is a parody of the title of book 4, which is Say Cheese and Die, but this one is Eat Cheese and Barf.
I love
Wow.
these.
Not Say
I
Cheese and
love
Survive.
these so much.
And there's the wiki for
Eat
it is
cheese and barf.
Eat Cheese and Barf.
So it's like about lactose intolerance.
Yes. The wiki for it is throwing a little shade. It says, for Stay Out of the Bathroom, the book's title is a parody of Stay Out of the Basement, although the book itself is more similar to Let's Get Invisible.
Oh no! I want to meet the person who wrote that.
About Eat Cheese and Barf, it says, the book has a title which is a parody of Say Cheese and Die, although the plot is more similar to Monster Blood.
No! RL! can't parody himself.
What about Barfarama?
Yeah.
What about Barfarama?
I was in my Googling of Goof Lumps. I saw Barfarama, I guess, is another comedic horror thing for kids. I guess just barfing, maybe? No, it's a little bit. It's like the Legend of Big Fart.
Okay.
Every cover says warning, guaranteed gross out.
Yes.
Legend of Big Fart.
On the Gooflumps cover.
Afternoon.
On the Gooflumps cover, it says, "This spoof is just a goof." So you know.
Oh, okay. It's just a goof, huh?
This spoof
My
is just a
run,
goof.
my
I mean, if
runny
it's-
Valen slime.
That's pretty good, actually.
This is
Sweet runny Valence line.
These are good.
this is a bit of a segue to D&D, actually. Did you
Yeah,
guys
good.
ever read the Lone Wolf series of books?
No.
Or I should say, did you ever play the Lone Wolf series of
Wolf?
books?
No.
No,
Is that a
no.
choose your own adventure?
It's a choose your own adventure
I love the choose your own adventure.
that is also a D&D for people who don't have friends and therefore don't have people to play D&D with. So
That's why it's for lone wolves.
yes, so you in this series of books you sort of have like you have your character, he has an inventory, you go through a choose your own adventure type thing, and there are combats. But my favorite thing about it, I don't remember if this was an optional mechanic if you don't have a D20, which I didn't, and I was 12 years old, so I was like, where am I gonna get a damn D20? There's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way in the rest
Before
of
the
my
days
life.
of Amazon.com.
Yeah, I will never get a D20. I'll have to find out how to find a special store where they have this. Like, it's just not going to happen. So the mechanic to allow you to randomly figure out what happens is there's a page in the back of the book with the numbers 1 through 20 in little squares on the page, and you're supposed to just close your eyes and stick your
What?
finger on where somewhere on the page, and then whatever number it is what you get. And if you're a real loser,
I would poke somebody in the eye and then sue the people who made that book.
ooh, smart. See, that's the Galaxy Brain version of it. If you're a real loser, you just get really good at figuring out where the 20 is in relation to how you're holding the book.
Sure, yeah, right. you get really good at closed eye precision pointing.
Yeah, you're still following the rule of closing your eyes, but sometimes I
Yeah.
would even peek a little bit and be like, all right, in this Lone Wolf book, I will nobody's watching me, and nobody ever would, but I will formally follow the rule of keeping my eyes closed as I pick the random number.
But as you cheat it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Ekthos.
Yeah, you gotta have some integrity, you know?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I did keep my finger, in case my chosen choose your own adventure led me to death. I want to meet the
You always
freak
go back.
who gets the choose your own adventure book and
It goes back every time to the very beginning.
no, never goes back. Just does it once, dies on page 2, and is like, well,
And then gives the book back to the
that
library.
is my experience.
I died.
I chose my adventure.
The adventure is chosen.
Have you guys played Disco Elysium?
Yeah.
Not
No.
yet. I
Really good.
I downloaded it, but we're gonna be playing it on
But that
stream at
sounds.
some point.
Okay, good.
That name is so futuristic sounding that it made me feel so out of touch with gaming. It's crazy.
It is. It's a fantastic
Is that one
game.
of the robots from Pacific Rim?
There's a Jaeger named Disco Elysium. It was one of my favorites, but actually, I did the thing that I just made fun of people potentially doing with Choose Your Own Adventure books in it, which is because I was like really attached to the story and really attached to my experience with it, and my guy died in a certain way, and I was like, all right, well, now I'll watch Li Shen play it. But for me, I was like, that's going to be my experience with this game. Like, my guy will have ended his journey there.
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah. It was Nick. It was when you confront the guys outside the bar. When you confront the
I played
people.
it not a really long time ago, but a while ago. So I'm not sure exactly what moment you're talking about, but it seemed as if playing that game, there were quite frequently corners you could back yourself into where you might end up dead.
Yeah, and it just seemed to me like the right end.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
Great game. And Casey, I think when you play it on stream, which for viewers, it's the Casey and Zoe thing, great stream that Casey does with Zoe, his sister. When you play it, I think it will really spur a lot of the politics discussions that you guys have been having, because it's like all of it, it's like exclusively about that. It's a game about politics, basically.
Dig it. Well, yeah, and we're going to be exploring the talk show tag more too, and so that might be good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ekthos.
Yo!
Ekthos has been experimenting with his wonderful creations, his robots and devices, his machines and contrivances. And is Ekthos, like, you are now a sort of contract employee of the Royal Homeland Constabulary, but have you been doing this mostly in your home?
Yes, absolutely. Used to be nicking parts from work. But yeah, basically turned my little apartment into a workshop. It's a fucking mess. There's just parts everywhere. It smells horrible. This is really like the first completely unstructured month of Ekthos's life. So he's been really been bad at organization and time management, and he's just really lost kind of track of stuff in kind of he's sleeping at odd hours and things like that.
Yeah. So what is the main thing that Ekthos is working on?
Well, it's these different animals. The idea is to have one to sell, or to kind of come up with a prototype to kind of potentially say like, hey, I can make these for a company, or I could, but he keeps finding himself not wanting to give it up. Like the more he's installing this gun onto a hawk, onto his hawk, a pistol onto it, and he's like, I'll sell this to somebody, some government, or I don't know, go down in the square and sell it. But I think he knows deep down that he's not going to be able to. He loves it too much.
What has been the main challenge that Ekthos has been facing?
He's running out of money and resources. He doesn't like talking to people. He used to steal parts from work. So like that was kind of the main place that he would get inspiration and get kind of, he could kind of work on side projects from whatever was assigned to him, and kind of use the same materials and equipment. But now he's kind of scrounging. So he doesn't have that many connections, and so he's realizing now that he's kind of gonna have to like be more social. He's probably gonna have to go out more into the markets, or make himself more of a business entity. He did enjoy going out into the field more than he thought he would, so he's potentially open to that sort of a life, but right now he's just kind of a mess, getting caught up in his work. I think one of his neighbors like hates the hours that he keeps and the sounds that are coming out of there, and is complaining about the smell all the time. So he's got a bit of a rivalry going on there, and it's getting a little tense. Yeah, he's getting a little restless, I would say.
Am I remembering correctly that Ekthos lives in the Bosun Strand, the kind of warehouse district? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
And what's up with Mekthos' progress these days?
Mekthos is he is not going back to Mekthos. He's used his right now. He's using his infusions on his. He's decided to work on his armor and himself. He was like he decided the idea is to not get attached, to not to kind of anthropomorphize these things as much, and really he's like trying to treat them like machines, but at the same time he does not really have any contact with people, so he's kind of ends up like kind of talking to them and giving them names, and like it's kind of going a little crazy maybe when he's building these things, kind of treating them like his children a little bit.
I imagine Ren has come around once or twice. What's Ekthos' like relationship?
I think Ren's a little worried about him. Ren's a little worried about Ekthos, I would say.
Because from Ekthos' perspective, is Ekthos just like not letting Ren into the picture?
Yeah, I mean, nobody comes into the workshop apartment. It's pretty gnarly in there. So no one, I mean, ever since his mother died, they lived there together, and now he's there alone. Nobody else, he's turned it into a pretty disgusting situation. Unless you're a tiefling engineer, like, you're probably not going to enjoy being in that room.
Okay. So on one such day, about 3 or 4, 10 days after you come back from Axis Island, you hear a knock on your door. You assume that it's your neighbor again. It's raining outside. There's just a little bit of thunder. It's very hot
fucking Kelmop.
inside.
I hate that guy. Kelmop, the gnome.
You hear another knock.
Okay, Kelmop, I'll be quiet, or I'll whatever. Sorry.
Another knock.
Ekthos goes to the door. What? Who? What?
Hello, this is Agent Kelmop.
Me?
No, this.
No, I'm.
No, that is who I am.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Wait, you opened the door? Are you speaking
Yeah.
through the door? Oh,
No, yeah. Sorry, I opened the door.
you see your neighbor, the annoying neighbor, the gnome.
God damn it,
But
Kelmop.
he's now speaking in a Denoran accent. Hello, Ekthos.
What's going on?
I'm sorry, it's been a little bit of an ordeal being next to me, but you see, we had to keep an eye on you.
Oh boy.
No, this is a good thing, Exos.
It feels creepy.
What? Because I'm watching you and pretending to be someone different from who I am?
Yeah.
Oh, please. You are used to such things.
I
Where we
know.
come from, everything is almost always not as it seems. In fact, that is the only thing that you can guarantee.
That's true. We always do say that. Your Surrey accent's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Whoa! Wow.
How does this sound? I will
honestly
have a Southern Surrey squab for dinner.
Yeah, they would order that, and they'd pay too much for it too.
Do you have any non-sugared coffee?
Oh, classic. They don't even put sugar in it.
That will be 2 Kellens, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's something I pick up. When you're an agent, this is part of the work.
Well, I mean,
it's been so long. How about coming back to work for your homeland?
oh my gosh. I mean, I'm trying to think of my allegiances now. I mean, I never truly felt super allegiant to Reeser.
Trying to think of my allegiances here. Let's see, what are they?
No, I mean, like, truly in this world anymore.
What else
do
do
I
you
have
have in
any
this
ties? I mean, well, I kind of do. I get to continue my research. That's kind of what I want to. I'm kind of close to. Building a little army.
That is precisely what we want you to do.
I got my own.
Yes, the nation of Danon needs your help. We are doing something rather large, and in fact, you may have encountered similar things before. You remember this? It was walking and
Oh,
right? Yes.
I don't like to think about that. That's when my friend,
the big
not my
smash.
friend, an
Yes.
object. Well, yes, okay. I am fascinated. I'm intrigued. Why now, Kelmop?
Well, you must strike while the iron is hot, as they say. Or as I say, hot. I forgot that I say it like that.
Let's do it.
Very well. The beautiful thing is, you don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right here in your, down the street. You will have to say goodbye to that, the one with the, and he sometimes likes to say, hello, doggy, hello, wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend.
My friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to say goodbye to
Everyone
the
I've
friend.
ever known.
Yes.
Ren and...
Right, this is correct, yes. But
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
you get to serve your true home, your true family.
I bet you cross paths with Ren again. He's a good dude. He'll understand.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, you're probably right. I joined the other
I don't
side,
think so.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably won't. He probably will hate me
We are
forever.
on the same side now.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So it's all good in for a guy who wears a hood.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been
Right.
defined by what government I work for anyway. I'm always working for some government. Doesn't mean anything really, besides
Forget about
where I
it.
spend my time and how I get my money and where I put my resources.
And who you assist in ensuring the long-term survival of their nation and the nation's interests.
Sure. Yes. And that, you mean war. Yes, absolutely.
No. I mean the prevention of war through
Of
a
course.
strong defense,
Oh, I love that.
right?
Love a strong defense. Some say the best offense is a strong defense.
That is one of my favorite things to say. Absolutement. It's so
Man,
true.
I do miss Danor. I'm missing Danor more.
Perhaps you will have a chance to visit one day. But for now, we stay here. We work on our devices and the little robot with the gun and the robot with the knife. Mexos as well. Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Very well.
Yes.
So
There's the
I
knife
ask-
robots, gun robots, devil robots.
The devil is Mexos.
Yeah, sure.
I love him. Such a tragedy. No.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it. I don't know. I famously don't like to talk about it.
Such a tragedy.
Yeah.
We.
And people famously always bringing it up. And you're like,
Yes, it is quite a famous.
I love to move on from it. It's my favorite.
Well, and of course we will provide payment and you know.
I was gonna say.
Yes, and
I kind of assumed.
the one thing I would say is we would like you to maybe leave your current employment as well.
My current. Oh. Yeah, no problem.
All vestiges of your, well, basically everything you know about your current situation.
What do you mean? In what way?
Well, you have to leave, right now.
My home?
This home, yes.
Can I bring my stuff?
Oh, we have already arranged for your stuff to be taken with or without you. I mean, with you.
Shit. All right, this feels like kind of like the last Starfighter or something. That scroll, you know, the last Starfighter. Anyway,
Oh, one of my favorites.
yeah.
I have so many copy of it at my at your new house. Read it
All
whenever
right.
you like.
I guarantee that my new house is better than my old house. So I'm
Me too. I also
I'm
guarantee
in.
this.
Hey, I'm allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that about my home.
I take
Come
it back.
Thank you.
So
I
Exos,
worked hard on it. Well,
do we have a deal? Will you assist your homeland in the name of Ausgier and the rest of the Danoran leadership?
you know, my mother's dead. She took me from there. She brought me here thinking I would have a better life than my father. Didn't really work out. Let's head back to Danor.
Okay, no, we will stay here.
Oh, sorry.
Just
I
not
mean, but
here,
yeah,
here.
you know,
Yes.
you know what I mean.
We are on the same page.
In terms of the who I'm.
Our page is so the same.
It's
it is
so it's like
indistinguishable.
it's like a mirror page.
The page 1, the page 2, you look at them.
Page
there's
2,
no
page
difference.
1,
Even,
symmetrical.
even your friend Dipnip may not be able to spot the difference between these two pages.
No, and he's really good at the spot the difference.
Things. That is precisely why.
The key is he's patient.
That's right. And such a good investigator.
Yeah.
Well, let's bid this Bohemian Garrett adieu.
Ooh, I never thought to call it that. And now I'm leaving. That's so disappointing. All right, let's bid this Bohemian Garrett adieu.
A new Bohemian Garrett awaits.
Look forward to it.
So you're given a couple days to pack up your things for your new assignment, which is helping out your homeland. It's it's a little bit strange. You have to admit, to see your longtime neighbor in this kind of new context, but it also makes sense that they would be watching you, vetting you before bringing you into this sensitive assignment. So, with that, I think we've reached the conclusion of our session here, and we're ready to roll into the next one.
Heck yeah.
All right.
So we're all level 4 now. Ekthos, I think actually only Dipnip. Hey, thank you. Yeah, the next session will be a similar kind of intersession with Egberticus, Ume, and Ren next week. I think level 4 is, I have to say, it's kind of a boring level D&D wise. You're really only getting an ability point, but Dipnip chose to take a feat, which is cool, the observant feat. So he will now be much more observant, and in fact was this session as well. Thanks to everybody for watching. Say hi on Discord. Check us out on the YouTube, and we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Thanks for being here.